Okay, so here is your information about domain and range of continuous relations. So a discrete relation has distinct and separate values. Okay, distinct and separate values. Their graphs are scatter plots. If you think about it, and the examples that we looked at before, and we start on our relations paper that we just started, we have this point and this point and this one and this one and this one. They're just points on the graph. It's a scatter plot. Okay. A continuous relation, on the other hand, do not have gaps, or they don't have jumps. Like I said, if you refer back up here, we jump around and we have gaps in between, right? So their graphs are continuous lines. Okay, for a domain, we're going to scan from left to right and identify which of the x values exist on the graph. For range, we're going to scan up and down and identify which y values exist on the graph. So I mentioned up here, and I am sorry I jumped ahead, for discrete, we have the different relations, the different coordinate points on the graph. A continuous graph is going to look possibly something like this, where we have a line, or it could be a graph like this that has a continuous line of some sort with the arrows, of course. Okay, but it's continuous. It's not going to stop. It's not going to jump around. So let's look at these examples real quick, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit on a couple of them. So if I look here at number 1, we're going to look for the domain and range. So let's write domain and range. Okay, so my domain is the x values, my range is the y values. My domain is Simba and Mufasa on the cliff, and he looks left to right and he says, hey, everything you see is our domain. It's what we own, left to right. Okay, everything you see. Our range is like your vocal range, how high and low you can sing, or how low and high. Okay, so that's what we're going to look for. So if I look here at my line is going this direction. If I look left to right, okay, my domain is not going to stop anywhere or turn around anywhere left to right. So we're going to call it all real numbers. Okay, that is my domain. I apologize. Sometimes when I write faster, it doesn't always want to work out. So domain. My range, if I look at this line, it's going up and down forever and ever. So I'm also going to say all real numbers. I had looked to see, does it stop or turn around anywhere? And in example 1, it does not. You may see on our answer key something that looks like this. It kind of looks like a double R. We don't use that. Okay, go ahead and write out all real numbers as your answer. Let's look at question 2. So I have question 2 here. My first thought is, hey, does it stop or turn around somewhere? So I'm going to write domain, and then I'm going to write down here range. And remember, we're looking at domain are my x values, and my range are my y values. Okay, so it's important to keep that in mind. So if I look left to right, okay, I've got arrows here and they're pointing down, but they're also going out this direction. If it keeps going, it's never going to stop left to right. It's going to be all real numbers. Okay, my range, if I look up and down, why look, I have a turnaround right here. So I'm going to go all the way up here, and this is where my turnaround is. Start at 0, 0. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about range. We're going to get to 5. Now, I'm going to need to put in a sign between here. What sign do I use? Well, I'm going to look at these two arrows, and the arrows are facing down. So that means that here at my turnaround, all of my possible solutions are going to be south, or going to go down from this spot here. So it's going to be 5 and 4, 3, 2, everything's getting smaller. So y is going to be less than or equal to 5. This is a solid line, so that's why it's also going to have the equal sign underneath it. If it were dotted, then I would have I would not have that equal to sign, okay? So that's what we're looking there. And remember, if you're not sure which sign it is, think that way. Look at your arrows, okay, which way your two arrows are going, as well as when we read it like we're reading a book. So y is less than 5, and 5 is the biggest, so it's getting eaten by the top part. Okay, let's go through a couple more of these. I've got number 3 here. So I have domain, and I have range. So my first question, looking left to right, is do I stop or turn around anywhere? Okay, I'm going to go here and looky here. It looks like we have a turnaround right here. Where is that? If that's 0, 0, that's going to be at -1. And I'm dealing with my x value, okay, because it's domain, so x. And then if I look, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, everything is going this direction, and my arrows show me which direction I'm going. Okay, so everything's going to the right, so my numbers are getting bigger, so x is going to be greater than or equal to -1. My range, I look and, oh, if this were to keep going, it would go that direction, and this would go down forever, so my range is going to be all real numbers. Okay, you're going to start noticing that when I have this parabola, that is what this shape is called, when I have a parabola, one of your options is going to be all real numbers. Okay, when I have, like number 1, a line that has the arrows on both sides and it does not stop or turn around, you're going to have both answers as all real numbers. So what do I do with like question number 4? Question number 4, we're going to go ahead and I'll put D for domain and I'm going to put R for range. So I'm going to look here, and when I look left to right, there's 0, and well, it looks like at 2, that's my line. So I'm going to say x is going to be 2. What about 2? Well, it looks like if I made points, it would be 2, 1. It would be 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 2, 573. It would also be 2, -2, 2, -3, 2, -4, 2, -1,482. So no matter what, x is going to equal 2. And this is where we're going to use our equal sign. When you have a completely vertical line or a completely horizontal line, you will use just the equal sign. Okay? And we can also see here, we know it's x because it's going through the x-axis. X is equal to 2. Make sure you understand which one, how to read this. X is going through 2. Okay, so x is going through 2. My range, I have an arrow that's going up forever and an arrow that's going down forever. So all real numbers. Okay, that's my answer there. So I want to skip ahead. Let's go to the back page. Let's do like 2 more or 3 more. Let's look at question number 9. I apologize for getting there a little bit late. So I've got this. All of our graphs can look a little different, so we tried to have a variety of different graphs for you to show that, hey, not everything's going to look exactly the same each time. So when I look at my domain, I'm looking left to right. And this line's going to go this way forever, and it looks like this line's going to go this way forever. So left to right, it doesn't turn around anywhere, and it's going to go forever. So I will have all real numbers. Okay? My range, though, it looks like I have a turnaround right here. And this is at 0, 0, so 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's going to happen at 3. I have my y because range is dealing with my y values. And look at my arrows. They're going down. So it's going to be everything below 3. So y is going to be less than or equal to 3. Okay? I'm going to skip to the next page. And let's look at question 18. Okay? Same type of thing. I want you to look. Notice my parabola. So my domain and my range. My domain left to right, it's going forever. So it's going to be all real numbers. My range looks like we're going to turn around right here. So it's going to be at 1, 2, 3. So I'm dealing with y. Everything's pointed down, so once again, everything's going to be less than or equal to 3. If I had something that looked like this, and it was going up, then it would be y is greater than 3, because everything's going to be higher than 3. But in this example, the arrows are going down, so we need to look to see which way the arrows are going. And I want to do number 19 here. So my domain, I'm going to look left to right. Left to right, I've got an arrow here, and I've got an arrow here. It doesn't look like it's going to end, and it looks like it is a horizontal line. So this is going to be all real numbers. And then finally, look at your range. We're going through this y-axis at -4. And it is y, and because it is a horizontal line, it's going to be y equals -4. Okay? So one of the things to be aware of, like number 12, we had one like this earlier. I have a line. Look at your domain. Look at your range. We're going to look left to right. This is going to go forever to the left, and this one's going to go forever to the right. So this would be all real numbers. Okay? On number 12, if I look up and down, or down and up, this is going to go down forever, and this is going to go up forever. So it's also going to be all real numbers. Okay? Are you noticing the arrows are going to go opposite directions for us to have double all real numbers? Versus, hey, if I've got something here, which this should have the arrow, okay? And it is important because we can have graphs with lines like this where we do have stopping points. But some of the other graphs you see, okay, the arrows are going the same direction. Here they're going opposite directions. So just notice some of those little things. And if you have any questions, please ask your teacher.